Amazing viewers, hope you all are doing well. This is another wonderful and beautiful day Mother Universe have gifted to us. I want to use this opportunity to learn how to make this outstanding and elegant two pieces outfit. This fabric right here is 3 years. That's what we're going to be using. It stretches less at one side and stretches more at the other side. This is how my arrangement is going to be. The part that stretches much is going to be the width, and the part that stretches less is going to be the length of this outfit. I'm going ahead to fold it into two that way, so the folded part is what is facing you guys at the moment. Let me just go ahead and arrange that perfectly. Anytime you are dealing with any fabric that tends to be stubborn, like this one I'm using right now, just go ahead and make sure you secure everything with your pins. It's very necessary as a designer to always pin to make sure that your outcome is always the best. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to be marking my starting point. From my starting point, I'll be marking 1.5 inches. This is the allowance for the folding. So I'll be using an elastic band for this particular piece. For that matter, I need to ensure all the allowances I will need for the folding. So this 1.5 inches is going to be the folding allowance. From that point, I'll be marking my hip divided by 4. Okay, this is my hip divided by 4. The next is to determine our crotch length. This is where a lot of people really have challenges, so just pay attention. I'm going to be explaining everything into details. Take note, I'll be taking all my measurements from the second line. The first line is for the folding allowance. It's not going to be part of my length when I'm taking all my measurements. So to be able to determine your crotch length, okay, the formula is your hip divided by 4. This will give you your crotch length. If you want to have a very high waist pant, then you could just go ahead and add about 1 inch to 2 inches. That is if you want it very high, somewhere around your navel or above your navel. Apart from that, your hip divided by 4 will do the magic for you. So for me, I wanted it to be so high, so I'll be marking my hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch. After that, I'm going to be marking my knee points. For the knee point, mine was 21 inches. Go ahead and measure that directly on your body. So that is my knee point. Then I'm going to be marking the length of this pant. Then I'll add the folding allowance. Okay. So let me just go ahead and square that out too. We've had all our vertical measurements, so let's go ahead and determine the horizontal. Just as I did first, my hip divided by 4 is what I'll mark at the waist. I'll come to my crotch length and also mark my hip divided by 4. If you are going to be making a pant that is going to be fitted where you are not going to be using an elastic band, then make sure you divide your waist by 4 and mark it at the waistline. Because this is going to be an elastic pant, we have to use our hip because the hip is the largest circumference of our measurement. So that is why we mark our hip divided by 4 at the waistline. After that, the next is to go ahead and determine our crotch extension. For the crotch extension, please let me give you a very simple formula that can work out for anybody. You don't have to assume and use 2 inches, 2.5 inches or 3 inches. Sometimes it cannot work. You can't assume and tend to be perfect all the times. It only works sometimes, not all the time. So this is the formula to be able to get your crotch extension. To be able to get your crotch extension, just divide your hip by 4. Okay, your hip divided by 4. After dividing it, whatever answer you get, divide it by 4 again. I hope that is clear. Hip divided by 4, your answer, take note of it. Then you are going to be dividing your answer again by 4. So whatever you get, that is what you mark there. My after the division was 2.5 inches. So I've gone ahead to mark that. Let's go ahead and curve our crotch curve. Just going to be curving it this way. There is a formula to also curve this. I've been doing this, that's why I'm able to do that with my free hand. And the formula is wherever answer you've gotten that you've marked at your crotch curve, go ahead and mark that on the crotch length this way and just make a curve to join those 2 points. If you don't want to have an incorrect curve, do that. Mark the same thing you have at your crotch extension at your crotch length and just go ahead and curve it. You see, after curving, mine was perfect. Yes, this is going to be a fitted pant. Let's divide our knee circumference by 2. If it is a palazzo pant, you don't really need the circumference of your knee. So I'm marking that. Come to the ankle and also divide my ankle by 2 and mark that. I'll just go ahead and connect all those points. So let me quickly go ahead and better secure it for easy movement. So this is it. The next is to just go ahead and cuff everything out. This is the front part of our pants. My dear, this is the home of fashion, DIY, tailoring, sewing, and everything that has to do with designing. You definitely need to subscribe and be part of the family, okay? This channel, we eat fashion, we drink fashion, we think fashion, we sew fashion, we do everything fashion, we even breathe fashion. Subscribe, like this video, and keep being part of us. We're also going to be determining the slope for the front part of the pant. Our tummy area is not all that flat, it's a bit curvy. So to be able to make the pant look so curvy at that area, let's step down by 1 inch and connect it to the side of the pant and just go ahead and trim it out. Please, this is very important and cardinal. It kind of give some flex and beautiful shape to your pant. What we have to do next is to go ahead and arrange the front part of the pant on the fabric. From this point, I'll be coming up by 1.5 inches and connect it to join with the side of the other piece that way. Please just watch how I'm doing. Then at this point too, I'll mark the same 1.5 inches, bring it to the crotch extension, mark 2 inches. Can you see the difference? Then I'll just connect all that. 1.5 inches, but at the crotch extension I made it 2 inches because we really need a lot of space over there to be able to accommodate our buttocks. The next is to come here and mark 1.5 inches, come to the hem and mark 1 inch. Then I'm going to be connecting all these points as well to achieve our shape. So this is basically the differences between the back and the front. If not, all other thing is the same. For the side, every other thing is the same. So let me just arrange the side well and go ahead and cut the same thing out. So this is basically it. Once I'm done cutting it out, now if you are using an Ankara fabric, this will work for you, okay? This is okay. But the fabric I'm using right here, it stretches. If I use the exact measurements to cut this pant, at the end of the day, after wearing it, it will look so loose on me. And that is not what we are looking for. We are looking for something that can skin us out. So for that matter, what I want to do is I'll be marking 1 inches. 1 inches at the side this way, all round, just 1 inches. And I'll go ahead and cut that out. So when I'm done and I cut that out after sewing, you see it so well on the skin. It wouldn't look sagging, it wouldn't look very loose. Now that that was done, we have to move to the stitching part of the video. So for the stitching part, look at where I'm pinning. So I'm going to be starting here and stitch to the crotch extension this way. Stop there. I'm pinning it down so that everything can make sense to you. Okay, so just give me the time to just do it so that you can get and understand everything well. So this side too, I'll stitch the same way to the crotch extension. Okay, now when I'm done, I will open it. This is the right side. Okay, that's the back. Then I'll place the front on top of the back. Now when you are done cutting, just be sure that the back will always be bigger than the front. Don't worry, it's not a mistake. When you finish sewing it, everything will match up, okay? So I'm going to be arranging it and I'll pin that. Take it to my sewing machine, sew from the waist to the hem of that side. I'll move to the other side of the trousers and also arrange it the same way, pin everything down and also stitch from the waist to the hem. The next is to go ahead and pin our inseam. So for our inseam, I'm going to be pinning it also round. Then we start from one side of the leg, sew through to the other end of the leg. So this is basically how to really sew this pant. After stitching the two sides and the inseam, the next thing I want to do is I'll go ahead and fold in my allowance at the waist area. I'm going to be stitching all around also, making sure that my elastic band should be able to pass through the channel I'm creating. So I'm going to be leaving about 1/2 inch opening at the middle. that is where I'm going to be passing my elastic band through. For my elastic band, I'll just cut it using my waist circumference and then minus just half an inch or 1 inch to give it a little bit of tightness. When I'm done inserting my elastic band, I'll move to the hem of the pants. So for the hem of the pants, I'm going to be folding my hem allowance in and I'll stitch. That is just all. Can you see that? At this latter part of the video, I want to take you through how to get a perfect outcome during the sewing, how to get a perfect stitch for each fabric you're going to be using for this particular outfit. If you're using any normal fabric like the Ankara fabric or any fabric that doesn't stretch it, you can just go ahead and use your normal sewing machine. It's going to work out. But if you're using a fabric that stretches like mine, please go ahead and use a serger machine or what we call overlocking machine to join the pieces together. When you are done, you can run a straight stitch through, or you can just leave it like that and that'll work. If not, if you use a normal stitch for a stretchy fabric, it will end up tearing when there's any little pressure on it. Or you can also go ahead and use a zigzag machine to sew it if it is a stretchy fabric. So this is my advice. Kindly go ahead to watch the video on how I cut and sew the top part of this particular outfit, and then this particular picture you're seeing now is our next tutorial. Subscribe and be